Caution comes out. Car spins in turn 4. Robbie sliding through. Robbie clips it, peels some sheet metal back off the back of the car, the filler panel, and there was a mount. The mount had come off of the chassis side, was still hanging on the sheet metal, but it was hanging on the track, barely touching the track. They looked at it, and they looked at it under caution, and they gave Robbie the black flag. Mechanical black flag. Now, their mechanical black flag, most places have a black flag with a big orange dot. Theirs is a black flag with a big white X, okay? So Robbie knows it's a mechanical issue. Somebody's giving him hand signals. Okay, I want you guys to understand, Robbie Sawyer mentally is about the best racer you're going to find. This dude, he's like, and I mean this when I say this, when it comes to getting in your head, he is like the Dale Earnhardt of dirt modified racing. He is completely opposite of what Ethan Dotson is, okay? Robbie isn't, they call him the rebel rouser, okay? And there's a reason for it. Robbie's not afraid to be that guy that pushes the limits. So what do? And I want you to pay attention how smart Robbie is too. Robbie gets the mechanical black flag. Someone in turn 2, his crew guys, are pointing and letting him know, you guys were there, you saw it. Yep. Hey, right rear, you got stuff hanging off. And there's no radio communication, so you got to be good with what you're doing. Robbie catches on to what they're saying immediately, and they go down the backstretch. What's Robbie start doing? Starts hammering the gas and wiggling the car to the right. He's throwing the right rear to the ground, right? What's he trying to do?
Get it to
He's
fall
trying
off.
to shake the sheet metal on the track so it comes off, and he doesn't lose his spot.
Yep.
It's not coming off. They're telling him, no, and he keeps getting the black flag while we're under caution. But he never passes the leader. He'll get ahead of him, but he'll let him get to the stripe first, okay? He's not breaking any rules. He wanted that sheet metal off so bad, I watched Robbie Sawyer do something, I just thought, man, dude is genius. He is under caution, throwing the car into the turn and intentionally scraping the right rear corner against the wall to get the stuff to fall off, and it's not coming off. Unfortunately for Robbie, it never came off. He had to leave the track and have the team pull it off. He pulled on and ended up passing several cars, and that was actually late in the race when that happened. It sucked because he had a really good run going. But he ended up, I don't know if he got a top 10 or not, but he passed a lot of cars. He was on a mission. That for me, that was the one thing I thought all weekend was kind of like, well, you know.
Funny thing you say that because Tim and I were standing right there, and his crew members are giving him the signals. And I heard the biggest, loudest F-bomb from both those guys because he had to pull off the track. And they turned around and went down, and then they came back up and said, you guys get it? And they go, yep, we got it.
And so did Robbie Sawyer after that. He got it, and he was driving.
He got it. But,
you remember the other guy that was scraping the wall? Oh, my.
There were a couple guys.
Which one?
Every wall.
Yeah.
That one guy, they kept trying to make him get off the track. I can't remember who it was. But he hit every wall going around there, just flying.
Same thing. And
this guy, he had major damage.
Do you know who that was?
Who was that?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
It was Bobby Hogue.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shoot. Yes, it was. Yeah,
Bobby.
that's right. Yeah, it was Bobby.
He was the car that kind of got clipped.
I didn't
in that.
realize.
He was the other car because Robbie Sawyer got it too. It tore the whole right rear quarter off. It tore the quarter panel,
Bobby.
the right rear panel, deck panel. It tore off half the spoiler, and it's hanging. And Bobby, being another veteran driver, smart, doing the same thing, trying to scrape it off. And I think his actually came off, if I remember right.
Yeah, it either came off or no. I think he pulled off.
He pulled off.
Bobby did?
And he came back
Yeah,
on.
he pulled off.
He pulled off and got it back on.
And he came back on, and it was different.
Yeah, he had no rear.
Yeah,
He had
ripped
to
off
leave
the
deck,
ripped off
everything
you
was
were
gone.
talking about. They ripped
He
off.
come out, did a couple laps in the left.
Even the sail panel. Was
the
off
whole thing.
Car. Everything was
so,
gone.
and here's what I say to the crowd. Okay, and you can go back and listen to it on Spreaker, on the broadcast. I said that is a bad break for Bobby Hogue. That if you're going to get damage on a corner, that's one you don't want it because of the way these cars are set up aerodynamically. That was the one corner that catches the most wind. That I mean, it really does. It really helps drive the car.
Didn't look like it. He drove it just.
And
fine.
let me ask you guys something. With that being, what I just said is absolute truth.
Yeah.
That right rear spoiler, that corner is a very.
Are you going to ask, did it slow him down?
Yeah.
Did it?
No.
Nope.
It didn't slow him down at all. That car did not handle any different than it did prior to that damage on the deck and that spoiler and the rear quarter panel.
Three-quarters of the spoiler gone, part of it just kind of draping and dangling
Yes.
down.
Yes.
He had a lot of bad luck this year.
Well, he was pretty fast as well, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he ended up finishing
he was paying to play.
Oh yeah, he was
paying to play. He was out there. He put it all out. He hung it all out there. But back to those hand signals real quick. That's one observation I made, is that I've never seen a track have so many guys giving hand signals and the driver's actually seeing it.
Yeah.
Well, where do they do it? They stand at turn 2 and they stand at turn 1.
Yep.
They coming down the straightaway. They got guys down there. You watch.
There's a signal for everything. They had funny signals. I mean, they had stuff that.
Right.
I mean, here I am doing it. You guys can't see it out there, but it's probably not appropriate for this show. But there were some hand signals that were very interesting, and that I kind of understood what they were trying to say, because I'm watching their cars, I'm watching their lines, and this is charades here. I know what he's trying to tell him, and he's doing exactly what I thought they were doing. Move up higher on the track. It's the one finger in a pullback line. Like come closer to the wall. It's shake it off, or whatever. I mean, they had all these signals. I've never seen that.
It was awesome. I mean, it's a different environment. They do things a little different down there.
Yeah.
But Gary, I know Gary really liked that racetrack. Yeah. I know he did. I think everybody that goes there.
Yeah.
Well, like, with the exception of Joey Tanner, Joey has just, it's one of those places where he just can't get the luck. The performance is there, the talent is there, but the guy just can't get the luck. Talking late models, we want to talk late models right now. The only two things you can say. There's only two words you can say when it comes to late models at Budsweiser Nationals this year. Cody Laney. That's all you have to say. We can talk about everything else. We can talk about Joey Tanner on night number 1. It started on night number 1 in qualifying, like it always does for Joey. Bad luck, snake bite. First lap. It wasn't even qualifying. It was actually track pack. He comes out and they start getting, they're driving around, and Joey gets a throttle. The car goes up on the bars and immediately came down to this quick little funny little twitch. I said, what was that? That looked weird.
Spool
in the rear end. Ripped off all the splines off the axle, and they had to actually find a way to rebuild the rear end. Thank goodness Richard Pappenhausen had what they needed. The only guy there that had what he needed says, hey, I got something here. Helped him out, and they rebuilt that thing. Pete Bound and Brian Norton and Joey and those guys went to work. Fixed that rebuilt that rear end in about an hour and a half. Got it back under the car and got him out there for the heats and for the main. He started 17th in the main event because no qualifying. He didn't get a chance to qualify.
Oh, he didn't even get a heat, did he?
They let
him go out and do a shakedown.
He got a couple shakedown laps. He didn't get a heat race on night 1 and ended up finishing 17th against that field, 4th on night number 1. Yeah. Dang good run.
Yeah.
Night number 2, he ends up 6th. And again, talking about bad luck for Joey. Track is smooth. Track is on night number 2. It was good. And I don't know, for whatever reason, they went out and put a little water on the track. Joey was set up for the slick. It was just the weirdest thing. I mean,
he was giving it all he could down low at first.
But you watch what Joey did. He, after about 2 laps in that dash, he realized, okay, I'm starting 6th. These guys are all hooked up. His car clearly wasn't set up for the tack. He backed out, felt the car, used it as a test session, made sure everything was working good, started 6th in the feature, and drove to 2nd.
Who drew first?
Who drew first? Yeah.
So he didn't even have to draw it, But when Joey drew 6, we were standing down there when they're drawing the chips, and Joey's like, "Oh, shoulders down." Come on!
It's Joey's luck in the draw.
He was not taking any luck at all.
And that's how it goes for Joey in the draw, and I don't know. He's got some of the worst luck I've ever seen at that show. Now, you want to talk about someone's got some good luck. Talent. I mean, a whole lot more talent than luck this year was the 32B of Cody Laney. Cody Laney hired by Pete Van Eiderstein to drive that number 32B car, and good move for Pete. They took home some money. They took home $5,000 out of there this last weekend.
And a nice guitar.
2 nice guitars.
Yeah, that's true.
2.
Yeah. He only brought one to the photo shoot.
Yeah. But with Cody Laney, you guys had a chance to talk to them.
Yeah.
You want to talk about laid back? You want to talk about humble? You want to talk about just there is nothing you're going to do to get inside that kid's head. It's not. And we had a great interview. It's posted on Moxie Mean Promotions. We talked about the Boone Super National. Here's the thing: Ethan Dotson gets a lot of, and as he should, the recognition for winning the Boone Super Nationals. People forget Cody Laney finished third there. Those guys are like brothers. I mean, they're joined to them. They race together everywhere. Their families are tight. Those guys have grown up together. Finished first and third at the Boone Super Nationals. Night number 1 in the modifieds, they finished first and third again at the Bud Nationals. Night number 2, I think it was a 1-2 finish for those guys in the modifieds. But interviewing him, talking about the late model stuff, the kid is so laid back. You can't rattle him. You just can't do it. He's ice cold as far as not his attitude, but just his nerves are just nerves of steel. Just nothing rattles him, and he gets out there. And there was a couple times in that feature on night 1 when the track was a little rough up top. Watching that 32B enter the corner, jump that cushion, and I'm not kidding you. I say the entire left side, about 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the ground, at speed, set it down, and the car never twitched. Just set it down and back in the throttle, and just
didn't upset it at all. He was still on track.
Unbelievable. Never lost stride at all. Mm-mm. And then night 2, it was just as smooth as it gets. I mean, it was just incredible. A great weekend for him. 2 late model wins, 2 top 3 finishes in the modifieds. The guy that dominated the weekend, you think that was a good weekend? The guy that dominated it all was Ethan Dotson.
Oh, yeah.
Sweeps the weekend on both nights. He walked out there with 4 guitars this year, guys. 4.
Mm-hmm.
Won both nights in the sport mod and won both nights in the modifieds. And there wasn't anybody there that challenged him. Did you see anybody challenge him? I certainly didn't.
No.
No, he pretty much dominated.
From qualifying all the way through. Now, he didn't even get to qualify. Was it night 1? No, that was Cody Laney in the late model. He went out and didn't qualify because no transponder.
That's right. Yeah.
They weren't picking him up in the scoring system.
Yep.
But still walked out of there with 2 wins.
I would really like to know what his times were, because who do we have? We had the 10 car.
Sanders
was our top qualifier.
Mm-hmm. On night 1.
And then who else was in there? It was Pappenhausen was up in
Pappenhausen was fast qualifier night number 2.
Yep.
He was flying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Pappenhausen challenged Cody Laney a little bit in the late model feature on night number 2. A little bit.
Yeah, he was up in there.
But then Cody found his rhythm and found his stride and checked out. Joey Tanner and Pappenhausen had one of the best races of the weekend. Those guys, they were doing it. It took Joey, they drove. They swapped positions several times at both ends of the track, and finally Joey cleared him and got away from him to finish that strong second. Pappenhausen, I believe, was third on night number 2. But, man, there was some great racing.
I bet you all the people that are really into ice skating would have really loved to watch that race.
Well, and that's where the talent comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did start taking rubber. Mm-hmm. It did start taking rubber, and it got fast. Phenomenal event, phenomenal track, phenomenal show for the fans. I don't know if they could have done any better for the track.
No, there's no way. There's no way. That track was perfect.
Did you guys see the mod light flip?
I missed that.
Yep.
So, okay, let me go back to highlights, okay, because I missed one. Okay, so you guys know I'm a big reader of Speedway Illustrated. Mm-hmm. I've been reading that magazine before it was called Stock Car Racing Magazine, and the crew that was there when that magazine shut its doors went to Dick Berggren's Speedway Illustrated, and now it's just Speedway Illustrated. And that whole crew I've been reading since I was in grade school. Mike Adaskaveg is one of those guys. Phenomenal photographer like Nina from Jose Motorsports. He's got a special eye. Good writer. Well, he was there. Him and I got to have a great conversation. During that conversation, we're actually standing behind the Mike Mosier Tower, Mod Light feature night number 1. And we're talking, and I hear this noise, and I said, "Ooh, somebody flipped." He goes, "What?" I said, "Somebody flipped." And we walked out the door at the gate there and looked, and there's the 71 car upside down. And he goes, You could tell that by the sound? I said, I've heard that